Many thanks for staying tuned to the People's Daily, Ogtv. This is the main news. I am Mojisola Sholaja. Our top stories. Federal government blames climate change on regulated buildings for Mokwa flood. Ogun State government advises young people aspiring to greatness to embrace hard work. Ondo Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader resign. "200 prisoners break out of Pakistani jail over earthquake panic."
Also on the news, Presidency moves to settle 2 trillion naira power debt owed to electricity generation companies. I'll bring you details of these and other stories when I return on the business segment of the news. I am Dominic Agbea.
And from the world of sports, United Kingdom threatens to sue Roman Abramovich over Chelsea sale proceeds. This and more coming your way on the sports segment of the news. I am Emmanuel Dasalu. Stay with us.
Life is a long lesson in humility. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live for the latest news and reports. Check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. The federal government has said that the flood in Mokwa town in Niger State was primarily caused by heavy rainfall due to extreme weather conditions occasioned by climate change, unregulated buildings, construction activities, and poor drainage infrastructure. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Osef, stated this while reacting to the situation of flash floods that hit Mokwa, a market town located in Nigeria's north-central Niger State, at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. According to the minister, the dams did not collapse during recent flooding. He instead attributed the overflow to climate change and unusually heavy rainfall. The minister said a team of technical experts from the ministry and various agencies are currently assessing the damage and working on solutions. He urged the state government and other stakeholders to follow early warning systems and implement preventive actions to reduce future flooding. Meanwhile, the Niger State government has received over 200 million naira in cash donations and several bags of rice from individuals and organizations in support of victims affected by the devastating Mokwa flood. Among the notable donors are Senator Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Idris Muhammad Malagi, the Niger State First Lady and her family, as well as former presidential candidate Peter Obi. Meanwhile, 5 more bodies have been recovered from the flood disaster site, bringing fresh concerns among residents over the stench emanating from the waters. Locals fear that many more bodies remain buried and unrecovered, prompting youth in the area to dig through debris in search of the missing. Confusion, however, trails the official death toll as 2 top government officials gave conflicting figures. While the secretary to the state government, Abubakar Usman, put the number of casualties at 158 during a briefing on Tuesday, the deputy governor, Yakubu Garba, told Peter Obi during his visit on Monday that the death toll had surpassed 200. In a related development, Lagos State government said its decision to remove structures erected on floodplains has been yielding the desired results. Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, said that the state averted what could have become a disaster by demolishing buildings on drainage paths. He commiserated with the people of Mokwa in Niger State, where floods killed over 200 residents and displaced thousands last week. Wahab urged citizens to avoid building on flood zones and drainage paths. The Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, has advised young people aspiring to greatness to embrace hard work, perseverance and dedication in their daily lives. Professor Aribabu gave the charge in his office in Abeokuta during a thank you visit by Oluwaseun Kuforiji, the Guinness World Record holder for the longest sewing marathon. He noted that attaining and sustaining success in life requires consistent and meaningful effort, urging youth to shun shortcuts and instead emulate the resilience and determination demonstrated by Mr. Kuforiji, who set clear goals, pursued them passionately, and achieved global recognition. The commissioner also commended Kuforiji's humanitarian gesture in donating school uniforms to about 10,000 public primary school pupils across Ijebu-Ode, Shagamu, and Abeokuta. He said that the initiative aligns with the government's commitment to providing quality education to all learners in the state.
Further, they always emphasize the need for you to work hard, to persevere, to put in a lot of efforts, because at the end of it, it will pay off eventually. And such things actually last longer than anything that you get easily or quickly. People say no thing easily got is worth having. Anything that you get easily, go and check. It's not really going to be worth having.
In his remarks, Seun Kuforiji said the donation was his way of giving back to the society and celebrating his achievement. He added that the initiative was aimed at boosting the confidence of underprivileged pupils and helping them overcome low self-esteem, which can hinder their potentials. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmad, says no student, whether in the urban or rural communities, will be left behind in the computer-based test transition. Ahmad was speaking during the monitoring of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination in some select schools in Abuja, highlighting the significant improvement the CBT transition promises. The minister acknowledged the technical and infrastructural challenges that must be addressed before full implementation. Comparing the outcomes from traditional paper-based exams with the CBT, she said the visit showed a clear student preference for CBT. She said that with the individualized sets of questions for each candidate, impersonation, question leaks, and systemic answer sharing would be drastically reduced. The minister, however, acknowledged that the transition may face major logistical hurdles, especially in rural areas where electricity and internet infrastructure remain weak. She said WAEC and NECO were working closely with JAMB and other education stakeholders to address these gaps. In a bid to ensure inclusive capacity development across all the sectors, the Ogun State government has organized a 2-day training program for drivers and artisans in the civil and public service. The training themed Safe Wheels, Healthy Living, Enhancing Efficient Driving for Drivers, brought together over 70 participants drawn from various ministries, departments, and agencies. Taiwo Fabajo reports.
Declaring the session open, the head of service, Mr. Kehinde Onosoya, described the training as a testament to Governor Dapo Abiodun's commitment to inclusive capacity building which extends beyond senior officers. He emphasized that drivers play a vital role in the successful implementation of government policies and urged them to be good ambassadors on the road, observing traffic laws, properly maintaining government vehicles, and upholding public trust. Mr. Onosoya also encouraged participants to enroll in the state's health insurance scheme, noting that the government has subsidized 50% of the cost.
That green number does not confer on you immunity to be reckless on the road. Don't say because I'm driving an official vehicle, I can disobey traffic rules and regulations. Responsible and safe driving are functions of discipline, sound and good health. A healthy driver is a productive driver.
Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishment and Training, highlighted the objectives of the training, stating that it will enhance the performance and well-being of drivers and artisans on government payroll.
We are going to talk about the public service, the ethics of the service, and then the health insurance units will be here to register them. The health personnel will be here. I think the BP, the blood sugar, and they will be checked. General well-being.
Officials from the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Trace, and several permanent secretaries present at the event advised participants to build healthy relationship with their superiors, prioritize mental health, avoid reckless driving, and strictly adhere to traffic regulations and signs. Participants expressed gratitude to the state government for the opportunity, noting that the training will significantly influence their attitude behind the wheel.
This training is a very good training, sir, as we can all see, and it's a training that's enlightening us on how to behave on the road.
It benefits me in so many ways, like because there are some things they taught us now that we don't know before, like sign, rules, and regulation on the road, which is important for the driver to know.
I thank Governor Dapo Abiodun for repairing the mechanic central workshop. We appreciate all he's doing for us. The repair of the workshop is aiding quick delivery of repaired vehicles. This training will also help me to be more proactive.
The first day of the training focused on the importance of road signs and safety awareness. Taiwo Fabaju, Ogtv News.
In an age where information travels faster than ever, the role of the media has become even more critical, and so has the responsibility that comes with it. With misinformation and half-truth spreading rapidly across traditional and digital platforms, media professionals must prioritize fact-checking as a non-negotiable standard in their work. The integrity of journalism depends on accuracy, and getting it wrong can have far-reaching consequences, from damaging reputations to influencing public opinion and policy based on falsehoods. Let's hear from the professionals in this package.
In furtherance to their commitment towards enhancing the capacity of journalists in a fast-paced digital era, media professionals have charged Nigerian broadcasters to protect the nation through dissemination of accurate information to their audience. They, however, frown at dissemination of fake news, no matter how appealing, and should not release any information without proper authentication of the news and avoid biased reportage.
Any media person, journalist, broadcaster that fail to observe the ethic of this profession, such a person is practicing yellow journalism, is practicing fake journalism. If you follow the simple ethics of this profession, that is, news is sacred, it's only the truth, it is what happened that we are going to report, don't embellish it.
Once you make your content attractive, you become the king, you become the lead. What makes a station better than the others is the content. Content is king. When you have good content, advertisers become. When you have good content, people will watch your program, and from there they'll be endeared to your station.
They emphasized on the need for journalists to be equipped and use their platforms to promote truth, accountability, and social change as they abreast on principles of solution journalism or reporting approach that not only highlights societal issues but also seeks constructive responses and solutions.
Fundamentally, it's just that you keep on reading. I think that's where you have the, would you say, a glut? People don't read. And if you don't read, you are not informed.
Trying to understand media content. It's important for people to understand that media content are not neutral. They have some basic reasons why they are composed, and that will go a long way in determining the meaning. They need to understand the fact that what they do is crucial to the polity.
They equally encourage the regular workshops for media personnel to enhance their abilities to report accurately, responsibly, and fairly, which is essential for maintaining public trust and upholding the principles of democracy.
The relevance of the media in our national development and national integration, and we believe that this will also serve as an impetus for the media in entirety in the practice of the profession, and also ensuring that the ethics and the code of conduct are maintained at all times.
Journalists were called out to abstain from violating the ethics of the media profession, especially in the face of technological advancement, go beyond serving as information disseminators, and begin holding government accountable to engender good governance and strengthen democracy in Nigeria.
Still ahead, Ondo Assembly Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader resign. We will bring you details of these and more after the break.
Whatever you need, whatever you love.
What makes every order special?
The
fact that it births new beginnings. Inspiring us to express every shade of who we are.
Whatever you need.
It's the joy each order brings. We know this, and that's why for whatever life's needs you may have, Jumia is here for you. Download the Jumia app now. Jumia, joy delivered.
You're still watching Ogtv News. While genetics play a role in breast cancer, growing evidence shows that lifestyle choices significantly impact a woman's risk of developing the disease. Factors such as poor diet, lack of physical activity, excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, and prolonged exposure to stress can all contribute to increased vulnerability. Experts say maintaining a healthy weight, staying active, eating a balanced diet, and avoiding harmful habits are not just good for the overall well-being. They are also powerful tools in lowering the risk of breast cancer.
A risk factor is anything that increases chances of getting a disease, such as breast cancer. Specialists said certain breast cancer risk factors are related to personal behaviors, such as drinking alcohol, not breastfeeding, not being physically active, smoking, and birth control. Other lifestyle-related risk factors include decisions about having children and taking medicines that enhance hormones.
Smoking has also been shown to, predispose to breast cancer. Genetics. So if you have a family member, especially through your mom's line, your mom, grandmother, great-grandmother, an aunt from your mom's side who has had a history of a breast lump, not necessarily even a cancer, but a breast lump, you are at a higher risk of developing a breast lump.
Anything that makes you to add weight around the tummy, around the breast, it's not good. The extra fat is not good for the body, and so that can predispose. The other predisposing factor, which is major, is the family history. Once you have a family history of breast cancer in your siblings or in the extended family, then you have to be quick about it.
Women were implored to take notice of any changes in how their breasts look or feel and tell a member of their healthcare team right away. Carry out regular breast examination.
I know it's not easy, so I just want to encourage you. Like, it is a good thing that you came out to talk about it. You notice these changes on time, and then you came out to talk about. You came out to see the doctor that, oh, I'm seeing changes like this. I just want to tell you that you are doing well.
Reiterate that adhering to proper diet like citrus fruit and fatty fish may help reduce breast cancer. Women were also advised to limit or avoid items like alcohol, highly processed meat, and sugary foods and beverages.
So when I talk about smoking, I'm not talking about you just being a smoker. You can also be a passive smoker, really. People around you smoking, inhaling the fumes and all those too can cause it.
Some of the diets we're taking can predispose to developing breast cancers. Refined westernized diets. Not only breast now, any part of the body can become cancerous. So we should be wary of that. But natural things are vegetables, fibers, moving your bowel and cleaning up. Yes, you will not likely develop cancers. So there are natural things. Instead of refined sugars, if you go for natural honey from the honeycomb, and if you go for clean vegetables.
Women were urged to keep in mind that regular medical appointment and breast cancer screenings are critical for early detection and diagnosis.
The Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Abayo Makirinton, and the Majority Leader, Ogunmola Soyi, have resigned from their respective positions. Akirinton represents a larger constituency 1, while Ogunmola Soyi represents our constituency 1. Both are members of the ruling All Progressives Congress. The pair announced their resignations on the floor of the House during Tuesday's plenary session, which was presided over by the Speaker, Olamide Oladiji. Akirinton cited political power-sharing arrangements within the state as the reason for his resignation. In the wake of these developments, Ololade Begudu, representing Okitipupa constituency 2, has been selected as the new Deputy Speaker, while Olatunji Oshati from Osei State constituency has assumed the role of Majority Leader. In Ogun State, over 2,555 security officers and men will be deployed by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps during the Eid al-Kabir celebration to checkmate breakdown of law and order. The Ogun State Commandant of the Corps, Remilekun Ekundayo, who dropped this hint during the groundbreaking of the Central Active Security Control and Perimeter Fence of the State Command Headquarters, said Ogun State government has been playing a pivotal role in securing lives and property of the citizens. Flora Adesomo reports.
The groundbreaking ceremony of the Central Access Control Building and Perimeter Fencing of the Ogun State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, with the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Oludaise Lemide, representing the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakwa Abiodun. A total sum of 32 million naira has been quoted for the project, which the Speaker had earlier described as a modest estimate, while commending the integrity and professionalism of the officer and men of the command.
When I saw the POQ and the total estimate, I said this is a very, very realistic, modest and affordable project. So when I saw 30 something and I saw the 3D and everything, that is my thought. I said these people are really, really, really honest and straightforward.
The special advisor to the Governor of Ogun State on Security, Assistant Inspector General Olaide Soba, retired, commended the past and present leadership of the command for the zeal towards building a formidable corps.
And I want to equally appreciate the past leadership of the Civil Defense Corps, because
as one is coming and going, we are having a project that is being, carried out.
The Ogun State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Mrs. Remile Kundayo, said the project will stop intruders and secure officers and men from incessant reptile attacks and scare.
Some of the structures have not been put on ground. We want to make sure that the erosion problem is solved before we do that. But while we are doing that, we decided to put a facelift to the command by building the access control.
Yes. Ekundayo said the government of Ogun State has done so well for the Corps and pledged continued synergy with other security agencies to fight crime to the barest minimum in the state.
Like the earlier Salah that happened, we're everywhere. Already deployment had been made, and we are deploying about 2,555 to all the nook and cranny of the state to make sure everybody celebrates Salah peacefully and seamlessly.
Traditional ruler, community leaders and philanthropists came together to see to the takeoff of the all-important projects at Defowura at Desanwo. Ogtv News.
A major milestone is set to take place at Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agorwe, as the newly constructed Olufemi Okenla Entrepreneur Center will be formally commissioned on Wednesday, June 4th, at the university's main campus in Agorwe. A statement by the Deputy Registrar, Corporate Affairs Division, Niyi Oduwole, reveals that the 150-seater facility, equipped with state-of-the-art resources to support student innovation and entrepreneurship, is a generous donation from distinguished alumnus and accomplished legal practitioner Otumba Olufemi Okenla. The Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Lausa, is expected to commission the center, while the dedication will be led by Pastor Matthew Ashimuluwo, Senior Pastor, Kingsway International Christian Center. The ceremony also marks Otumba Okenla's 60th birthday. As part of the celebrations, the Olufemi Okenla Foundation will host its maiden colloquium themed "The Role of Tertiary Institutions in Promoting Entrepreneurship in Nigeria." The keynote address will be delivered by the Director General, Onitsha Business School, Professor Olusegun Shogbeson. The groundbreaking for the center took place in April 2024 on Otumba Okenla's 59th birthday, where he pledged to complete the project within a year and has now fulfilled that promise. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Ayodeji Agbola, is calling on members of the university community to attend and like members and give a warm welcome to the minister and other distinguished guests. This initiative reinforces the university's commitment to academic excellence and innovation, while also celebrating the enduring impact of alumni giving back to their alma mater. The federal government has commenced the payment of 44,000 naira minimum wage arrears to former members of the National Youth Service Corps. The commencement of the payment fulfills an earlier promise tied to the recent upward review of Corps members' monthly allowance from 33,000 naira to so. Of the payment fulfills an earlier promise tied to the recent upward review of Corps members' monthly allowance from 33,000 naira to 77,000 naira. The payment applies to those who completed their service before the new allowance took effect earlier this year. Former Corps members have taken to X, formerly Twitter, to confirm receipt of the payment, expressing their gratitude and relief. The payment, widely seen as a fulfillment of the government's earlier pledge, has sparked excitement online, with many praising the move as a sign of renewed trust and accountability. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has asked Nigerians to support the armed forces in its quest to combat violent groups and insurgents. At the first Voice of Nigeria Forum in Abuja, General Musa emphasized the need for trust, civic engagement, and responsible narratives as keys to addressing insecurity. He pointed out that insurgency tends to grow when citizens provide space, support, or visibility to those working against national peace. Also, the Director of Legal Services at the Office of the National Security Advisor, Zakari Mijinyawa, who represented the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, stressed that security is not the sole responsibility of the military or intelligence agencies. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, recognized the sacrifices of the armed forces and emphasized the role of the media. He encouraged journalists to focus on the achievements of the military while avoiding excessive coverage of terrorist activities. Striking members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, have resolved to resume duties on Wednesday. They took the decision after the intervention of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekeriekun, and other stakeholders. In a communique on Tuesday, the striking court workers also resolved to allow the CJN and the stakeholders to engage with the federal government to, within 1 month, ensure the release of funds to address their grievances. The communique said after long deliberations on issues that led to the declaration of the industrial action on June 2, JUSUN agreed to concede to the intervention of CJN, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and other stakeholders. JUSUN also agreed to give the CJN and other relevant stakeholders 1 month within which to engage with the federal government to ensure the release of funds to the judiciary. We'll take a break now to bring you the business segments of the news.
Whatever you need, whatever you love.
What makes every order special?
Joy to show, Junior, they give you so much.
The fact that it births new beginnings. Inspiring us to express every shade of who we are.
Whatever you need.
It's the joy each order brings. We know this, and that's why for whatever life's needs you may have, Jumia is here for you. Download the Jumia app now. Jumia, joy delivered.
Glad to have you join us on the business segment of the news. The federal government of Nigeria, through the Debt Management Office, has opened a new window for subscription to its federal government of Nigeria savings bonds, offering attractive interest rates to retail investors for the month of June. According to details released by the DMO, the offer includes a 2-year savings bond due June 11, 2027, with an annual interest rate of 16.121% and a 3-year savings bond due June 11, 2028, offering a higher return of 17.12% per annum. The offer opened on June 2, 2025 and will close on June 6, 2025. Settlement is scheduled for June 11, 2025, while coupon payments will be made quarterly on September 11, December 11, March 11, and June 11 throughout the lifespan of the bonds. Each unit of the bond is priced at 1,000 naira with a minimum subscription of 5,000 naira and subsequent multiples of 1,000 naira. The maximum subscription is pegged at 50 million naira. The presidency has begun internal approval processes to resolve the 2 trillion naira legacy debt owed to electricity generation companies before the end of the coming quarter as part of efforts to stabilize Nigeria's power sector. A representative of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, Eriye Onogurua, disclosed this at the second Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry Stakeholders Meeting of 2025, hosted by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Onoguruwa said the presidency recognizes the urgency of addressing the debt overhang, which has strained gencos and impeded electricity supply nationwide. She revealed that alternative debt instruments are being explored due to the federal government's current fiscal constraints. While she did not give a definite timeline, Onoguruwa expressed hope that a clear update will be available before the next quarterly NESI stakeholders meeting, suggesting progress could be announced within the next 3 months. The Nigerian equities market commenced the week on a positive note, gaining 173 billion naira in market capitalization as investors showed renewed interest in select large and mid-cap stocks across key sectors. Data from the Nigerian Exchange Limited on Tuesday showed that the all-share index appreciated by 284.25 points, or 0.25%, to close at 112.26.26, up from 111,742.01 posted on Friday. Consequently, the market capitalization rose from 70.43 trillion naira to 70.6 trillion naira. Despite the upturn in the market indices, trading activities witnessed a decline. A total of 517.95 million shares valued at 10.07 billion naira were exchanged in 17,019 deals. This reflects a 75% drop in volume, an 84% drop in value, and a 9% decline in the number of deals compared to the previous trading session. Deposit money banks (DMBs) in Nigeria will now deduct charges from unstructured supplementary service data (USSD) transactions directly from customers' airtime as opposed to their bank accounts. The development, according to the banks, follows a directive of the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) on the implementation of an end-user billing proposed years ago. This development comes as a solution to the long-standing issue of USSD debt that has been causing rancor between the commercial banks and telecom operators over the years, as the former often fail to remit to the latter after deducting from customers' accounts. The Association of the Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria says that the Central Bank of Nigeria's June 3 recapitalization deadline for Bureau de Change BDC operators remains sacrosanct. APCON President Dr. Aminu Gwandabe said this in an interview with newsmen in Lagos after a stakeholders meeting with the CBN. The CBN in May 2024 issued new operational guidelines for BDCs effective June 3, 2024, directing all existing BDCs to reapply for new licenses. BDCs with Tier 1 license were expected to have a capital base of 2 billion naira, while those with Tier 2 license needed 500 million naira, with a non-refundable license fees of 5 million naira and 2 million naira. And that's the business segment of the news. Many thanks for watching. It's back to Mujisola for the rest of the bulletin. The first of the news. More than 200 inmates have escaped from a jail in the southern Pakistani city of Karachi when they overpowered prison guards after being allowed to leave their cells following a series of earthquakes. Let's join Eniola Amadu for more details.
Than 200 inmates escaped from a jail in the southern Pakistani city